Hello, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Anik with Realty in the Palm Beaches. Today I'm with Marla Intoppa from Gateway-Acentria Insurance Company. She's the vice president at the company. Marla, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Marla, we have a lot of questions, and as a realtor, a lot of people ask me a lot of questions about insurance, homeowners insurance. What is a homeowner's insurance exactly?
Well, homeowners insurance is a type of property insurance, and it's designed to cover your home, the structure itself, your contents, your personal belongings, anything that you have detached on the property, and also your liability. Medical payments as well, if somebody were to trip and fall on your property and get hurt and they needed medical payments.
Okay, Marla, how does the insurance company determine the value of the home and the value of the assets in the property?
So that's a really good question. Typically, you have a loan amount, you have market value, and then there's the cost to rebuild. We run a cost estimate on every single home, and what that does is determine what it would cost to rebuild the home today with like materials. So the same flooring type, the same roof type, etc., and that's the amount that we use.
Okay. What if someone has $80,000 kitchen?
So we can do different quality grades for the kitchen and the bathroom. So when we get a new home into quote, we will look at the flooring, the kitchen, everything like that, and determine what the home should be insured for. And we also go over that with the client.
Okay. Does the policy cover the market value of the property or the replacement value?
The market value does not come into play when we insure the home. It's strictly what it would cost to rebuild it, because you're not taking the land value into consideration.
Okay. And is there a limit on the amount a policy will pay for special items in the home, for example, jewelry and other special items?
So in your contents coverage, it's pretty much clothing, furniture, shoes, things like that. What it does not cover, there are special limits on jewelry, typically $1,000. If you have any type of gun collection, coin collection, stamp collections, you would want to insure that separately. Fine arts, any breakables, glassware, things like that, you would want to insure it separately. That way it's covered for anything and there's no deductible.
Okay, and how do you insure those items?
We typically can insure that on the same home policy with like a rider, or we have a separate company, or actually companies that can insure all those things as well.
Okay. And how is a deductible determined?
So in Florida, because of hurricanes, we have two different deductibles. One is hurricane, and then the other one is anything that's non-hurricane, which would be water, theft, lightning, anything like that. We typically quote at $2,500 for the non-hurricane deductible. You can go as low as $500 and as high as $10,000 with some carriers. Okay. And the hurricane deductible typically is 2% of the dwelling amount. You can go a little bit higher, but you don't save much premium, so we don't suggest it.
Is it better to have high insurance premiums and low deductibles, or vice versa?
I think it's a personal choice. We have some clients that choose to self-insure and have the higher deductibles, and then we have other clients that would rather see lower premiums. I said that backwards.
It's okay. Not a lot of people, in South Florida, we have a lot of cash buyers. Some of them might say, you know what, Anthony, I paid cash for my property. I don't have a mortgage. Therefore, I'm not going to spend my money on the insurance. What do you say to those consumers?
We actually do get that a lot, or they want to insure a very small loan amount, which we can't do. They want to make sure they at least have liability on the property. Usually a policy like that is around $500-600 a year. I personally wouldn't want to self-insure my home and pay all out of pocket to rebuild it. We can write a policy without hurricane coverage, and that usually will bring the rates down quite a bit, and you'll have liability, you'll have contents coverage, and coverage for everything other than hurricane.
Oh, that's a big risk people will take, knowing that, especially lately,
Right.
Living in Florida, we're prone to hurricanes.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay. And how quickly will the insurance company respond when the consumer files for a claim?
Typically, I mean, when there's not a catastrophic event, I would say that within 24 to 48 hours, you should have someone at the home, a claims adjuster that's going to come and let you know exactly what it will cost to redo whatever was.
So that's the adjuster's job. They come in and
they'll see what it would cost to repair it. They'll give you the estimate, and it kind of goes back and forth.
Okay. And are there any discounts available for homeowners to lower their insurance premium?
So in Florida, there's a wind mitigation inspection.
What is that exactly?
So a wind mitigation inspection is a way that the carrier sees how wind resistive your roof is for hurricane damage or wind damage. It also will determine whether there's opening protection or shutters on the home. The discount can go anywhere all the way up to 82%. On the hurricane portion of the premium. And if you don't qualify for the best credits, there's actually companies out there that will help retrofit your roof so you do qualify for them, or better credits.
That's good to know. Can you do that after you close in your home, or does it have to be done prior?
A lot of people do those things after they close. A lot of times we'll quote it both ways so they can see what the savings will be versus what it would cost to make those changes.
Yeah, wind mitigation is really important, especially as you mentioned, homes being built prior to 2002.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
we have, even South Florida, it's a newer area. We have a lot of homes built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah.
And and the wind mitigation, I want to let the consumer know that it's separate from the regular home inspection. And there are home inspectors that can do both.
Right.
And some inspectors don't do both. They're not licensed to do both. So
right.
you have to get a regular home inspection done. Then after that, you get the wind mitigation separate. And typically the cost, it's really minimal.
It's typically around $100.
$100.
It's more than worth it. You'll always save at least that amount.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's good. How about are there any events that are excluded from the insurance coverage?
Typically, acts of terrorism are excluded. What we come across most are animal liability is excluded as well.
What do you mean by that?
So if you have any type of dog, there are some carriers that will not give you liability, meaning if your dog runs out of the gate and bites your neighbor, they can come after you personally because your insurance policy isn't going to cover it. There are also some bad breed dogs that no carrier will allow you to, or they won't even write the insurance on your home.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if someone, let's say I have a German Shepherd and I live in a home, I want to get it insured, what do I do?
There are a few companies that will do it. You just lose a lot of different markets when you have those types of dogs. So you might have maybe 2 options versus 20. So it definitely limits.
Okay. And Marla, if the homeowner is away on vacation or, somewhere else for work, is the home protected while they're away?
I don't understand the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's say I have a home and I'm going to California for a seminar for a week. Is my home protected while I'm gone?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Of course, definitely.
Okay, so
for any peril,
always, Okay.
Whatever the policy covers, it'll still be covered whether you're there or not.
Okay. The next thing, Marla, is we live in beautiful Florida, but unfortunately we're prone to flooding. I know you saw what happened in Texas recently.
Right.
What is flood insurance exactly, and who needs it?
Everyone in Florida needs flood insurance, but flood insurance is rising waters coming from an outside source. So it could be coming from a lake, it could be coming from the beach, a swimming pool even, which is a pond, anything like that. If there's bad rain and the sewers get backed up, we've seen it where, the water starts to come in through the garage, it comes in through a sliding glass door. That's considered flood insurance and your homeowner's policy will not cover it. It's really inexpensive, and we strongly urge all of our clients to carry it.
Everybody who lives in Florida.
Everyone that lives in Florida, because
Okay.
it doesn't matter where you are, every home is prone to flooding.
And you and I were talking earlier, and you gave me an example of the community down here in South Florida, Delray Beach. Exactly. What happened exactly?
So the community that's in Delray Beach, literally, I think there's about 400 homes in there, but one side of the community was completely underwater and the other side wasn't. So I don't know if it was the drainage or what have you, but luckily most of the clients that we insure, they did purchase flood insurance. So, their wet walls inside, their flooring, things like that would be covered by the flood insurance. The ones that didn't have flood insurance, there's absolutely no coverage afforded under the homeowner's policy.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I have another question. Let me think. I was gonna ask you about we sell a lot of luxury condominiums in South Florida, and most buildings, they have the building insurance included in the homeowners association. What is, if people usually when they have the buildings protected, how do they protect their interior of the condominium, because it's not included in the monthly HOA that they pay.
And most people think that because the HOA covers the exterior and the drywall and the roof, that everything's covered. So in reality, everything from the drywall out, so the flooring, the cabinets, the countertops, plumbing fixtures are not covered. They want to make sure that their policy has at least $40 to $50 per square foot to cover all those things. If there's upgrades, you go even higher. And then you want to make sure that your contents are covered as well, and liability. And none of those things are covered by the HOA policy.
Absolutely, because one of my clients here in downtown West Palm Beach, the neighbor upstairs, I guess the neighbor was away, and they had a leak, I think from somewhere.
Toilet.
And it came to his home. Luckily, they do have water intrusion alarms, but still, even with that, the property was damaged, and the homeowner, luckily he had, all my clients, I recommend them to get insurance right away, way before they close.
Oh yeah.
So he was covered. The insurance company covered the hotel while the condo is being worked on.
Yeah.
And it took a little while to put back his wood floors and his kitchen cabinets and so forth.
Yeah.
So.
They're in the state of Florida. If there's something like that happens where the condo above has a toilet leak or something like that and goes to the condo, which is common. If the unit underneath it is damaged, it's that unit owner's responsibility. So it's not the upstairs, even though they caused the damage. So in the state of Florida, they have to have their own insurance to cover that. So and it happens a lot.
And people don't understand that. They say, you know what, I am being very careful and so forth, but if something comes from above, then it's your responsibility.
It's your responsibility.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Marla, thank you so much. This was very informative. Yeah. And if the consumer has any questions, how do they contact you?
My info is going to be below, and I would love to hear from everyone, and thanks for tuning in, and thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and share it, and also subscribe to my channel for my weekly educational videos. And until next time, thank you so much.
Thank you.